Techniques for Dealing with Difficult Customers by Shelby Manda, Capstone Project in Supervision and Management. Hi, my name is Shelby Manda, and in this presentation I'm going to be discussing techniques for dealing with difficult customers. I have worked in the customer service field my whole career, and I have had my fair share of difficult customers. However, luckily I have been through a rigorous customer service training course, and I have been trained to deal with multiple types of scenarios, and I feel confident in dealing with those issues that could arise. Within this presentation, I will discuss a few diffusing techniques that I have found the most helpful. It is important that we learn ways to diffuse situations and make those situations from a negative and turn them into a positive. Customer service associates, our most important asset on the front lines. Customer service associates have the most responsibility when dealing with unhappy or difficult customers, turning a negative service interaction into a positive one. According to Forbes, 90% of consumers read online reviews before visiting a business. I myself find that to be true. My family and I are constantly looking for new places to eat, and before we ever go to the restaurant, we do check out Yelp, TripAdvisor, or Facebook for reviews. So I understand how that number could be so high. Customer service associates need to be trained thoroughly and given the knowledge to succeed when dealing with certain scenarios. Customer service associates will only be as good as the training they are offered. Many businesses offer customer service training classes such as Star Service, Train Smart Inc., Allison, and countless online courses. A study by eSatisfy, a top research company on customer service issues based in Arlington, Virginia, conducted a study regarding customer dissatisfaction. 20% is caused by employee actions, 40% is caused by corporate products and processes that have an inherent and unwanted surprise for the customer, and 40% are caused by customer mistakes or incorrect expectations. With this information at hand, businesses need to make sure their staff is fully trained with how to appropriately handle a difficult situation with a customer. I had inserted a picture to the left. It says customer expectations for stellar service. It is Star Service, which goes under seamless, trustworthy, attentive, and resourceful. That is the training course that I took while working at the Kings Bay Naval Submarine Base for MWR. MWR Kings Bay mission is to deliver high-quality, customer-focused programs and services that contribute to the readiness, retention, and quality of the life of the military community served. It was imperative for our organization's director that our staff had the knowledge to work well with the clientele we served. Star Service was a 2-day training event that was mandatory for all MWR employees. Even if the employees were in a facility that did not deal with customers directly, they were to uphold the same standards as the other employees. One technique that was heavily discussed to diffuse any situation is to simply listen to the customer and their needs. Active listening can be defined as the process of receiving, constructing meaning from, and responding to and/or nonverbal messages. Active listening includes 3 elements: expressing interest in the speaker's message by using nonverbal involvement, refraining from judgment and paraphrasing the speaker's message, and asking questions for the speaker to elaborate on. All 3 of these elements combined will allow the customer to feel valued, hopefully diffusing any hostility. Active listening is the highest and most effective level of listening, and it is a valuable communication skill for employees and managers to have when working closely with customers. Above is an image with the 7 key active listening skills. Be attentive, ask open-ended questions, ask probing questions, request clarification, paraphrase, be attuned to and reflect feelings, and summarize. Professionally, I plan to use active listening skills to the best of my abilities. I see how much not only customers, but fellow employees benefit from good communication. In the workplace, I pride myself on communicating well with others. I won't always follow up a phone call with an email, just clarifying the conversation. I was taught this technique by a previous manager, and I have since then seen when it comes in handy. When working with many different departments and vendors, it was important that I documented with a follow-up email what was discussed, so that if any issues arose, I could always refer to what was discussed. Effective communication is imperative to avoid service breakdowns in the workplace. Everyone communicates differently, but is it important to learn how to effectively communicate within your workplace or your customers? For example, when I was working in the hospitality industry, we had a difficult customer at the front desk. Unfortunately, she had broken a rule about bringing a dog into a room, and our front desk associate was telling her that it was not allowed and she will be charged. It got extremely loud and irrational. So I had went up to the front. I had asked the front desk associate to take a minute and just leave the situation, and I then listened to the customer. I asked her questions. I clarified everything. I paraphrased. I tried to reflect her feelings and summarized what we can do for her. I put myself in her situation, and I tried to make that negative situation into a positive. She still broke the rules, but she just wanted someone to kind of listen to exactly what happened. I ended up getting an email from her that day that she really appreciated that I just listened to her. So ever since that specific situation, I've always taken it with me that sometimes even the customer knows they're being difficult or wrong. Sometimes they just want you to listen to them and give them the options that they can move forward with. Another important technique when diffusing a situation with an unhappy customer is finding a solution. In Star Service, I was trained to remain calm and to give the customer options to solve the issue at hand. Today's customer lives in a world where expansive choice is the norm, thanks to the prevalence of online brands. And in general, customers expect to have multiple options available to them. Having options gives the customer a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment, knowing the company cares for their customers. When a problem occurs with a customer, state the options clearly for the resolution. For example, in a previous job, we oversaw booking and throwing events such as birthday parties. Unfortunately, due to Hurricane Irma in September 2017, we had to cancel events due to a mandatory evacuation. All employees were evacuating, and the military base I worked on was shutting down our building. These customers had paid and planned for these parties for months, but I thought most would understand given the circumstances. When I made the phone calls to inform the customers, I gave them the two options at hand. The first option was to give them a full refund and cancel the party, and the second option was to reschedule for a later date. Some customers seemed annoyed and got a bit difficult, but I remained calm. I explained the situation fully and gave them their options. The ones who were a bit difficult did not realize the extent of hurricane coming. When I explained how our building was shutting down, they accepted the news and were able to focus on their decision. This quote I really felt fit with finding solutions. It is important for our customer service associates to remain focused on the solution instead of being dragged down by any negative situation. Staying positive is hard, but having the right mindset will help you for success. Identify your problems, but give your power and energy to solutions. Another major technique I use to diffuse future situations with difficult customers is learning from past mistakes. In this slide, you see unhappy customer return rates from the US OCA White House National Consumer Survey. For no complaints, 9% would come back and 91% will not come back. Complaint not resolved, 81% will not come back. Complaint resolved, 46% won't come back. And complaint resolved quickly, only 18% won't come back, 82% will. That number is extremely high and shows that a negative situation can be turned into a positive one and people will forgive. Looking at the numbers, 91% will not return to a business even without issuing a complaint. If it is over $100 in losses, like the example stated, then I would definitely complain. It is unfortunately that these customers did not feel the need to complain because they could have been in the numbers where the complaint was resolved quickly and they would feel better about returning. It is highly important that employees can learn from their weaknesses. Receiving feedback can sometimes be difficult to accept. However, it is imperative to take the feedback with stride and make a positive change. Receiving criticism and learning from it can be used as a technique when dealing with difficult customers. In my experience, learning your customers is very important. When working in hospitality, I had received a complaint about not offering a newspaper to the departing guests. We were instructed to do so with each guest, but that morning I had forgotten. After receiving the feedback from the survey, I always remembered to ask. It was tough hearing that I had failed the customer that specific day. However, it helped me in the long run and shaped me into a better employee. I will always try to see the good in the feedback I receive. So those were my top 3 takeaways from dealing with difficult customers. Active listening, finding a solution, and learning from past mistakes. Active listening is my biggest strength when it comes to the 3. I'm a very empathetic person, which helps me relate to the customer. It is important for the customer to feel that you are genuinely concerned when dealing with their complaint or issue at hand. My second strength would be finding a solution. It is important to have the knowledge needed to make executive decisions when dealing with difficult situations, and if you don't, you have the ability to contact management to help you fix the situation and learn from it. Nothing is worse than being ill-prepared when trying to find a solution. My weakness of the 3 is learning from past mistakes. The learning from the past is not hard, but rather receiving the criticism. It is a hard pill to swallow sometimes, but in the end, it is needed for growth. I think that is something that I will continue to work on to get better at. I hope you take some of what was discussed and apply it to your own customer service experiences. I highly recommend taking a customer service course to see what your weaknesses and strengths are and how you can grow and evolve from it. I found it very helpful and feel more confident when I am faced with a difficult situation or a difficult customer. Thank you.